Hey y'all, it's your girl Patricia P and welcome to my channel, The Carnal Chronicles. This is a sex positive space where we're going to discuss some shit, we're going to learn some shit, grow, then we're going to share that shit. So let's get into it. Today we're talking all things female anatomy, okay? I want to really see if you know what's going on down there. First, we're going to take an external look at things before moving on internally. Now, the external anatomy of a female is made up of the following: labia majora, which are the outer lips, and labia minora, which are the inner lips. Now, don't get me wrong, every labial does not look the same. The inner lips can be larger than the outer lips. The labia is comparable to the scrotum in men or individuals with that body structure. The last part of the external female anatomy is the mons veneris. Now, this is a pad of fatty tissue that covers the pubic bone and can carry a lot of sensation for many people when pressed up against during sexual play. So now, let's move on to some of the less common structures of the vagina that people may not know of. The corpus luteum is the yellow hormone that forms where the follicle or sac used to contain an egg. When the egg is released, the CL secretes progesterone in the uterus to make it suitable to nourish a fertilized egg or embryo. Now, this is only active for about 10 to 14 days, and if there's no fertilized egg, menstruation occurs. The perineum is a sponge between the vagina and the anus, or the scrotum and the anus, more commonly known by society as the gooch. Now, honey, don't forget the gooch. You want to know why? Due to the location of it, it's very pleasurable because of all the erectile tissue that's there. So remember, when you're down there, don't forget the gooch. Now, the Bartholin's gland. Those are located at the vulva to provide extra secretion for penetration. I mean, shit, it's extra secretion for masturbation too, okay? Let's be real. The vestibule is the entrance of the vagina, and the urethral orifice is where people of this structure urinate out of. Now, let's get into the urethral sponge, or more commonly known as the G-spot. Now, follow along. The urethral sponge is a sponge-like structure that encircles the urethral tube, which is connected to the bladder to assist with getting urine out. It's a fatty sleeve that has glands inside of it called the Skene glands. The urethral sponge is an erectile tissue, which causes arousal. So it'll puff up, it'll push out against the vaginal canal. It can feel good, it can feel bad, or it can make you feel the need to pee as the sponge is squeezing onto the urethra. So, this is where people think female ejaculation comes from, i.e. squirting. So now you have to wonder, what the fuck is it? Is it pee? Is it not? Is it a mixture? Like, what's going on with the female ejaculation, right? So now remember the glands hanging out in the urethral sponge I told you about? Well, the Skene glands project fluids that secrete from the urethral sponge, which does have traces of urine in it, but they are very diluted that it leaves no odor or color. So, can we say female ejaculation is actually pee? No. However, there are traces of urine in the fluids being secreted. Let's take a look at some of the myths surrounding female ejaculation, or again, i.e. squirting. First, always a lot of fluid like you see in the adult films. Not true. It can be about a tablespoon or less. You squirt and you spout everywhere. Not always true. Could be a fluid release, almost like a leak that you wouldn't see until you were done. So those wet spots in the bed, ladies, that's usually us. It always happens during an orgasm. People ejaculate at various times throughout the day. It doesn't always have to be due to an orgasm. And every woman is capable of ejaculating. This is not true, because honey, let me tell you, it is my life's goal to be able to squirt. But it might not be in the stars for me, and I'm just going to be a creamer, and that's okay too. Not every woman is going to be filled with fluid in order to ejaculate. So we need to be mindful of this so that we are not driving ourselves or a significant other up the wall about being able to ejaculate. Now, let's take a look at the clitoris, and not just the part that we're used to seeing all the time, the internal clitoral anatomy. Now, this was probably one of my favorite things to learn about because many of us think that the clitoris is the hang time we see under the hood of the vagina, but that's just not it. Our clit is like an iceberg. The tip is visible, but there's a whole lot of body hiding on the inside. So let's take a look. The clitoral body is a shaft-like structure. The glans of the clitoris is the external part that is visible. The corpus cavernosum is the internal erectile tissue that fills with blood. So just like a penis, which means women have erections too. And some of us don't even realize that it's happening because we're so badly repressed. The crus clitoris is the legs or wing-like structure of the clit. And the clit has about 8,000, give or take, nerve endings, which makes it such a force when it comes to pleasure. Last but not least, let's talk hymens. Most of us have no idea what a hymen actually looks like. Here on the screen is some examples of what they could potentially look like. Hymens are a thin layer of skin obstructing the vaginal opening, and they're very flexible and super stretchy. There's no real reason to have a hymen unless there's a cultural or religious reason. Now, if not for any of those reasons, and you would like to skip the pain of penetration, you know what you can do? Come here, come closer, I got a secret. Come closer. I don't bite unless you want me to.
Have your gynecologist remove it.
Yeah, set up an appointment. Call them up and they'll get it removed for you right there in the office. For some myths about hymens. Hymens make virgins bleed. Due to the elasticity of a hymen, there's no need for it to actually bleed. The bleeding would most likely be caused from a lack of lubrication or vaginal readiness. Now, once the hymen's broken, it's gone. Not necessarily true. Bruised or torn hymens actually can heal. Hymens have a function. Now, we discussed this already. They actually have no function at all in the female body. However, it is comparable to the seminal colliculus, which is found in male bodies and does have a function. That was a lot of content to go over today. And I'm going to be quite frankly honest with you, a girl is tired of filming. I'm ready to go lay down. So please like, comment, share, subscribe, join the carnal crew, and tap that bell wherever it is on the screen so you know whenever a new video becomes available. And remember, this is a sex positive space. Let's discuss some shit. Let's learn some shit. Grow, then we're going to share that shit. Until next time, y'all.